30 seconds. All right. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. And good afternoon. Welcome to Community Comment. Our guests on Community Comment today are with the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater and to talk about a unique new fundraiser for the theater. Here in the conversation with us, we want to welcome in David Sneeder. He is the managing director of the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater, and also Ronnie Harper. She is the chairperson and chair leader of the new fundraiser Musical Chairs at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater. Ronnie, David, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us. We should have had our rim shot ready with that.
Yeah.
Right, you're a drummer, David. I expect.
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic. So we are talking about this unique fundraising opportunity, and it is called Musical Chairs. What do we need to know about it? Set the stage for us, if you would, Ronnie.
Okay, so the reason we hit on musical chairs is that musicals are always a big crowd pleaser. And actually, a pinch of history, I did a fundraiser like this for the high school music boosters in the town I used to live in, and it was pretty popular. So what I did was plucked chairs from rummage sales and curbs and things like that, nice vintage chairs. One of our members, Phil Miller, spruced them up, tightened the joints and that sort of thing. I rounded up artists that I knew, or we put it on our website. So we have 13 artists. Each chose one of the chairs or had a chair of their own that they would use. So we have 15 chairs or chair-like things altogether, and they are painted to represent a musical. Either a musical that community theater has done, or a couple of them are Disney products, if we can say that online. They honor Disney products.
Yeah, we just had to pay a fee, but that's fine, Ronnie.
It's an homage. You can have an homage to any.
Yes, it's an homage. And one of them is not based on a musical, but it's still a big crowd favorite. There's a former bar stool restructured that is now painted to look like a Green Bay Packer theme.
Nice. However, we did do a play called Lombardi. So
exactly.
No, so it wasn't a musical. It is still tied in with the community theater.
Yes, we did the play Lombardi 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vince just does not have the vocal range of some of the other head coaches in the NFL. So.
I don't think there was a lot of singing in it. No, maybe some humming.
I never heard Vince sing. He could have been very accomplished. I don't know.
Sure,
maybe
it's true.
He had a good loud voice.
So 14 chairs based on musicals and one Green Bay Packer chair is what I'm getting an idea of here. Okay, that's great. And again, a fundraiser for the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater. A few bookkeeping notes here for our listeners right now. Now, if you've been listening this morning, we've had some technical difficulties. So we should mention that this conversation right now was pre-recorded just a little bit earlier in the day. But regardless of that, you can go to dailydodge.com right now, as there is a video of this conversation that's taking place. Why a video? Well, of course, we always like to see David and Ronnie as much as we can on the radio, but also because we are going to provide an opportunity for you to visually walk through each of these 15 chairs that are up for auction. Maybe we could start doing that right now. So we're going to kind of transition. This is more of a benefit for our video listeners, but this is radio, guys. So don't forget, you're going to have to describe to our radio audience exactly what it is that you are seeing in this Musical Chairs fundraiser for the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater. Now, we are going to a website where the auctions can take place. Of course, you can go to bdact.org and find a link to this auction. What is the direct address to the auction that is on the screen for our video viewers and what we're about to describe to our radio audience?
If they want to go directly there, the address is 32, that's numerals 32 auctions. So 32 AUCTIONS .com and then a / BDACT for Beaver Dam Area Community Theater. And that will take you right to the home page. And then if you click on View All Items, which is a green button on the left there, David, that'll show you the chairs. And we have, as I said, 15 chairs. So a few of them are featured because, well, every single one of them is listed as priceless. When we build the auction site, it asks us to set a market value, and I couldn't possibly guess. And in fact, so far the auction is exceeding like my wildest dreams for some of the chairs, but there's still some practical bargains to be had. So I'm going to guide people who are looking through the chairs, but for those of you at home, you could click on this and watch along too. So there's a Beauty and the Beast chair, and that was painted by Becky Kickert, who's a member here. And every artist chose their own theme. When I say artists, some of the people who painted are professional or semi-professional artists, and some people are dedicated fans. So yeah, that's a great picture. David is showing us a picture looking down at the chair from the top. So Becky,
isn't that a pretty chair?
That is. So Becky, if you're just listening, I'll tell you that Becky Kickert chose this theme, Beauty and the Beast, which Telltale did a production of. Is that right, David?
Yes.
And it's just adorable. It's the chair itself. In the website, you can see the dimensions, some of the dimensions of each chair. It shows the chair height from floor to the seat and also from floor to the back. So you can get an idea of if this is a chair that fits in your space. This one would be so adorable in your own reading nook, or if you have a friend that's a teacher, for example, you could gift it to them for their classroom. So she's painted it light blue, dark blue, and green, and then fantastic little leaf motif going up and down the sides. Favorite characters from Beauty and the Beast. So there's Lumiere and the clock. Beauty and the Beast themselves are on the seat of it, and the names of books that are mentioned in the movie or the play. Again, and on almost some of the chairs, including this one, the back is painted, the front is painted, the sides, the legs. This one says, "Be our guest," across the bar that like holds the seat up. I'm sorry, I'm not a furniture maker. I don't know the names of the parts of all furniture. But anyway.
I think that's a great chair if you have children, grandchildren. Yes. I think that would be a really cool gift.
For classroom. And the current bid on this one is, we set a minimum bid, but the current bid, you have to get rid of our faces there, David. I think is, there we are, $35. So how the auction works is, let me talk about that just a little bit, if you don't mind.
Please do.
Right. When you log into the auction, you can peruse all the chairs, or then if you decide you want to bid, you have to create a persona. And so then you can bid, but your bids everyone's bid is confidential except to the administrator, which is me. But so there's two ways you can bid. You can place an exact bid, just this is how much I'm ready to bid right this minute, and you can keep going in and get in a bidding war, or you can set a proxy. And if you make your bid, so let's say I have this Beauty and the Beast chair, I just know it would be adorable in my classroom. I am willing to pay $100 for that chair. So if I put 100 in as a proxy, what this website will automatically do is start me out at $38, because the minimum amount to increase by each bid is 3. So it would start me out at $38, but then if somebody came along, if David came along and bid 45, it would tell David, sorry, you've been outbid, and it would plunk me in at 48. So as long as you've got that proxy bid, it'll never hike you right up to the proxy. It'll keep inching you up just past anybody else that tries to bid against you until they outbid your proxy. So I really encourage people, unless they have fun logging on a lot, to go ahead and use the proxy function. And some people have figured that out, and that works really swell.
And David will know that you outbid him on the Beauty and the Beast chair.
Exactly. He will get a message because one of the things you enter is your email or maybe by text. I don't remember if that's an option, but somehow you will get a message that will tell you, oh, you've been outbid. Do you want to bid again?
Mm-hmm.
So
and I'll be stewing. Curse that Ronnie Harper for outbidding me. Then I have to go back in and bid again. It's kind of fun to go in and see where the prices are at.
It is. It is. So the next chair that we have that I really want to feature is the Into the Woods chair. This one's going to need a special home because it has a pretty big footprint like the Giant because it's a bent wood. So for those of you not looking online, this is a bentwood rocker, if you can picture how those are. And so, of course, being a rocking chair, it needs a grand space in your home. Again, it could be delightful for a classroom or a daycare or something. But Community Theater did this show. You might have to help me, David.
It was just several years ago, probably 3 years ago.
And the family that did the woman, Laurel Connolly is the artist on this one, but she and her whole family worked on it. They actually dismantled the chair, the bentwood rocker that they got, painted it all, put it back together, and then David is showing it online, every single surface of the wooden parts of the chair are painted with either names of songs or lyrics or some favorite lines from the song. So, and then some little icons. So for example, when I can see it here, it says, the mouth of a wolf's not the end of the world. So I guess that a prophetic line from the show. And another couple of really cool things about it is Laura made a cushion on the wicker chair seat that is actually made from a canvas fabric that was part of the scenery. And then there's a pillow on the back of the chair. You know how recliners have a headrest pillow? This has got a little headrest pillow that's made from a satin that was the witch's costume in our production. Because Laurel, as the costume maker and designer, is also a frugal person and saves pieces. So she didn't cut the costume up. She just saved some scraps and produced this great little pillow.
Yeah, if you've ever been wowed by costumes in one of our productions, it's a good chance that Laurel had a hand in that. She is just amazing at what she does with different fabrics and making them come to life on a character. It's almost a character of their own. So she's an amazing artist when it comes to costumes. And
that whole show had a really organic sense of its scenery and its costumes. So this is a kind of a combination of that. It was a stretch for Laurel, she said, to do all this painting because she's a fiber artist. So various of our volunteers really took on some cool challenges. Let's go to the next chair, David. So this one would be a bargain too because it's waiting to get a bid. The minimum bid to get in on this chair would be $40. But I'm sure that by the 6th we'll have a war going. The next chair, Joseph is based on Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and Annette Camps painted this one. It's a glittery
chair from one of our founding members. You can't pass that up.
Yes, Annette Camps, wife of Jerry Camps, renowned artist and art teacher. How many of us who graduated from Beaver Dam High School a few years ago had Jerry as our art teacher? But also Jerry Camps did many, many sets for this show or this theater group. And Annette has directed many shows, but this one.
She directed this show in 1995.
Yes. Thank you, David. 1995 was this show's last time in Beaver Dam. And
we performed it again about 2014, somewhere around there.
So this one's actually been done twice. So there must be a lot of people out there that have fond memories of this show. And Annette made a quilt to kind of soften the back of this bow chair. And she stitched she appliqued words on the back that say any dream will do. And Annette says that's because community theater is all about dreaming. So that's, you know, that will evoke fond memories for people and be a cozy chair again. And every one of these chairs, I should say, is, this is a technical term, sit-uponable, but also is a cool piece of art. So they're all functional.
Yeah, and you know, you were at a loss for words for some of the technical terms in the chair making world, and I could tell you without question that the bottom of the chair features the legs of the chair.
That is true. Yes.
The vertical thing on the back would be the back of the chair, and then there is the horizontal seat of the chair. Pretty universal, I would say, amongst most of these things. Though the last one, did you mention that it was a rocking chair? Maybe you did, and I missed it. But
the previous one, yeah.
The previous one. But you know, we're talking about chairs, rocking chairs, and another one that you didn't mention, benches, all part of this chair fundraiser, musical chairs through the Community Theater.
David, maybe you can find that bench. We'll skip to that. It's a bench that's it's not a piano bench size. It's smaller. It's meant like, well, this was my own chair or my own piece. And we kept mittens in it. So it's a storage bench. But for this chair, I found online, I hunted around and found on Etsy some fabric that is just like the fabric in the movie where she takes the old curtains and sews them into play clothes for the children.
Sound of music.
So that's what the top is upholstered with. And anybody that loves that movie would recognize the fabric immediately. And then the front is painted with just Maria singing in front of the Swiss Alps up in a mountain meadow. So you can just kind of imagine yourself up there with Maria, and the hills are alive with the sound of music in this chair.
The opening scene from the movie with Julie Andrews twirling on the hill.
And Community Theater has done this show twice also. But the scene is from the movie. People will recognize that.
It's very realistic. I mean, from this perspective, it almost looks like it was a photo printed on the front. I mean, you did an amazing job painting that.
Yeah,
well, thank you. That was my art. Wow. So we have like a whole range of, so this is very homespun. The Beauty and the Beast chair was, you know, good for an elementary classroom maybe. And then we have the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And that chair is very creative. It is multidimensional. Beaver Dam Community Theater has not yet produced Rocky Horror Picture Show, but some other area community theaters have. And of course, it's a cult classic movie. So the, who painted this chair? I'm forgetting just for the moment.
It was Laura McCauley.
Laura McCauley and her daughter, Rhiannon. And I guess it was Rhiannon's idea. Rhiannon's in high school. So they painted the chair black. They recovered this chair is over 100 years old, I happen to know. I think it's walnut. Anyway, they recovered the seat in a gold lame. I didn't say lame in the website because it looks like lame. But this chair has pearls incorporated into it. It has lacing as in a bustier. It has garters painted on the legs. And then some of the lyrics, "Let's do the time warp again," are painted around the base of the chair.
It is a very unique chair. I can't imagine. I've never seen another chair. Well, not like any of them, but certainly like this one. And you know, the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater has not done Rocky Horror Picture Show, but it seems like just a few years ago I went to Madison and they had a production featuring all four of the leads were Beaver Dam Area Community Theater up and coming kids. I think they had just gotten out of high school. It was Bryce Minshew and you have to help me out with this, David.
I think Brian Toole was in it.
Brian Toole was in that.
Cody Lindau, I think, was one.
Cool.
Yeah. So and they did an excellent job. And this chair is kind of representative. It's very imaginative.
Yes.
It's a conversation starter for sure. I can see people fighting over it, who gets to sit in the chair for Easter dinner or whatever.
And I will say that if a person was concerned, they could take the pearls off if they want to lean their back against the chair, but I don't think it's really an impediment.
No.
There's at least one other chair that's got some pretty creative parts. David, can you pull up the all chairs scroll? Oh, here's another one that's pretty different. Go over to the Sound of Music or South Pacific chair, David.
Oh, now that was the first, if I'm not mistaken, production that was ever at the Beaver Dam Area Community.
That was our first musical. Harvey was our first production in South Pacific. You are right. Good on your history. That was our first musical. And it's been done again recently.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's definitely a crowd favorite. Yeah, it wasn't that recently. I think when it was done again was 15 years ago. Anyway, so this chair.
Yeah, it's I think it's been a little while. It was the first musical we did in the 60s, and then it was the first musical at the Spring Street Theater. So that would have been in 83.
That's right.
And then we were talking about doing it a third time, but we weren't able to make that happen.
Yeah.
Maybe someday. Some enchanted evening you could see it here again. Okay, so this is a wicker chair. I wouldn't put it outside. I don't think it's, it's seaworthy, but it's painted with a scene to evoke the South Sea Islands. And there's Bally High on one of the arms and a plane flying overhead. And it includes the shower, which is just a barrel of water perched on top of a wooden structure, and lots of palm trees and mountains and ocean wave. So it would be very evocative. I will say that this chair, I purposely made the painting so that if you wanted to put a cushion on the chair, you wouldn't cover up much of the art. But you'd cover up the ocean. And there's been quite a bidding war on this chair, but there's always room for more bids. That is the wonderful thing about an auction. There's a
no
minimum
cap
to get in, but there's no cap. You can go as high as you are able.
And you can go to 32auctions.com/BDACT, or you can link right off of BDACT.org if you'd like to find these auction items. 15 chairs. Well, 14 of them are musical theater-based. One of them is a Green Bay Packers chair. You got Rocky Horror Picture Show, Little Shop of Horrors, Sound of Music, South Pacific, a Frozen chair that we haven't had a chance to
Frozen?
It's cold to sit on, but it's a good chair.
Yeah, the Frozen chair really, it's blues. It's painted mostly in blues, and it's sparkly. If you see it up close, it actually is sparkly. And it's got Olaf, the snowman on it. And Beaver Dam Telltale, the Telltale group, did a production of Frozen just a couple years ago. And again, this one's painted on the front and the back. It's not. It's a little bit minimalist in its painting. It just features Olaf and then lots of sparkly snow and big snowflakes and swirly snowflakes. And here's a fancy word, ombre, which means gradual changing from light to dark.
That's not lame at all.
So yeah, that's a beautiful chair. David, can you pull up the Annie chair? We just did Annie. Annie is the last. Scroll down, Annie. There you go. You missed it.
Annie.
What?
So
where is it?
There you go.
There it is.
We did Annie is the most recent musical that we did. Excuse me. And Jennifer Buxton, who lives in Madison but is from Beaver Dam, painted this chair. So she was actually a classmate of mine at Beaver Dam, had Jerry Camps as a teacher, and she paints. She's taken many art classes and stuff. Wow. And she did an amazing painting on the seat of this chair showing Daddy Warbucks and Annie, the classic Annie with the curly red hair, with in front of their Christmas tree. And it's because Jennifer lives in Madison and because of COVID, we haven't got the chair yet, but she's bringing it this afternoon. So I'm totally looking forward to getting a more close-up view of the seat of that chair.
And
otherwise, if people want to come down to the theater, we actually have all the chairs except for this Annie chair this afternoon. We'll have it on display in our entryway window. So you can look at the dimensions, things like that online. I know for me, it's hard to visualize, but if you come down, you can see right in through the glass. All the chairs are right there, what the musical is, who the artist is, and have a look.
Yeah, for people that aren't familiar with our wonderful new building, one of the things that we did in updating this old parochial school for a theater was put a bump out on what is now the lobby, so that there's a handicap access ramp indoors. But so there's windows the whole length of that ramp, and that's where the chairs are lined up. So they take up the whole length of it, like 30 linear feet of chairs. And you can just come and park at the parking lot and walk up and stroll along and look at all the chairs in person and really get a sense of their size and the artistry. But you'll only see the fronts of them. So if you want to see the backs and that sort of thing, you need to go online. Oh, speaking of seeing the other dimensions, one of the chairs uses the theme from Yellow Submarine, and which is not a show we have done. That's on the bottom. It's not a show we have done here, but it's a favorite, like, cult classic movie. And Devin Cornoyer, if I'm saying that right, Devin painted this chair in a pop art style, including, for those of you looking, we're seeing the underside of the chair, because it's a view from a submarine, right? So the underside has Ringo stomping around on it. This is a very pop art style. I remember another, and that's the back, and it says, "All you need is love," on the spindles of the chair.
Oh, wow. And again, remind us when the final time to submit a bid will be for these 15 chairs that are at BDACT.org's auction site, 32auctions.com.
Yes, thank you. The final bids are February 6th at 11 o'clock at night. And our annual meeting is on February 6th. That's how we hit on that date. So there could be a flurry of bidding after the annual meeting or during it. It'll be a virtual online meeting. There's one other chair now that I was trying to think what other chair had some 3D features. David, can you find the forum chair?
I tell you what, David, while you're looking for that chair, we're going to need to take a break real quick. We can pick up the conversation right here. Again, 32auctions.com if you want to check out one of these chairs, these 15 chairs that are up for auction through February 6th. 32auctions.com/BDACT.org. Ronnie Harper is the chairperson of the committee overseeing the musical chairs fundraiser. David Sneeder is the managing director. Back in just a few minutes. And we're back here on Community Comment. Our